How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the second video of the sports channel. It's going pretty well over here on the sports channel. So yeah, this is my second channel. I'm not giving my main one away, but blah 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 blah. Anyway, as most of you know from my last video, I am a fan of the Denver Broncos. I grew up in Colorado, and I still live in Colorado when I don't go to college. So therefore, they are my favorite team. And so I thought I would give my rating as a Broncos fan of how the rookies played this season. You guys may disagree and give them different ratings for their achievements and compliments around the NFL based on what you think. But from a Broncos fan's perspective, this is how I'm rating them. And other Broncos fans, if you disagree with the ratings, let me know. This is just my personal opinions on how I think the rookies did. And yeah, so let's jump into it. So with the 20th overall pick, we selected tight end Noah Fant out of Iowa. And this year, Noah Fant had 40 touchdowns. Geez, I wish. He had 40 catches on 66 targets for 562 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns, as well as he fumbled once, and he had negative 12 rushing yards, and he averaged 14.1 yards per play. So I gave him an overall grade of an A- because he definitely added a versatility to our offense, because before this, I mean, we did have some decent tight ends. We had Jeff Hireman, Jake Butt, Troy Fumagalli, but none of them really played as well as Noah Fant played this season. It took him a while to really get into the swing of things, but once he did get into the swing of things, he was a deadly weapon, because he was an athletic tight end that you had to account for down the field. I mean, if you guys looked at the game that we played against the Browns, it's like 75-yard touchdown. That was just insane, and that just shows some potential of what he has. I still think he has a lot more room to grow from, but in my opinion, I'm glad we got him in the first round, and he showed some big signs of promise as a weapon for our future, as our future, and a pretty good weapon for our offense. So that's why I gave him an overall grade of an A-. Next, with the 41st overall pick, we selected Dalton Reisner. Technically, he was a tackle when we selected him, but out of Kansas State. He played at guard this season, but he is a versatile offensive lineman, and he can play anywhere you put him. They don't have stats for linemen, really, that I could find on ESPN. Maybe there's some stats that were recorded somewhere, but anyway, I give him a grade of an A because he was probably our best lineman all season. He gave up, I don't know how many sacks he gave up. I couldn't find that. But he played solid all season. And he really, really helped keep the offensive line in check. And you noticed it. He was played next to Garrett Bowles. You know, I'm not a big fan of Garrett Bowles on our line, but I mean, I think he can get the job done. He did improve a little bit this season, but Dalton Reisner really, really helped solidify our line to a really weak unit, and so that's why I gave him an overall grade of an A. And yeah, he was a really good pick. I'm glad we traded back out of the 10th spot and got this extra pick for Dalton Reisner. Next is the guy who I wanted us to pick with the 10th overall pick. And, you know, we got lucky, and we got him with the 42nd overall pick, and that's quarterback Drew Lock out of Missouri. His stats for the season, he had 100 attempts he had 100 completions on 156 attempts for 1,020 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He averaged 6.5 yards, and he was sacked twice, and he fumbled the ball once. He had a passer rating of an 18.7, and I can't remember what week it was. The week we played the Texans, he won the Rookie of the Week award, and yeah, I think he played really well. He's the guy I wanted us to draft at 10th overall. We got him at 42. And yeah, I gave him a B plus of an overall rating, as I really thought he played well, and I think he's our franchise quarterback. However, based on the small sample size, I really can't give him higher than a B plus. Maybe it should even be a B, because he only played in 5 games, so we got a small sample size. But from what it looks like, he played pretty damn well, and I'm happy with his play. He of course can still improve, but he every game that he played in, he improved. That Kansas City game, he learned from it, but I do think he played pretty well, and I'm excited for our future with Drew Lock. Next, with the 71st overall pick, we selected Draymond Jones, defensive end out of Ohio State. This year, he had 14 tackles, 8 solo, 6 assisted. He had 1 interception, which was huge, and he returned it for 7 yards. He had 2 passes defended, and he blocked 1 kick. And 1 week, he won Defensive Player of the Week. Let me say that again. Defensive Player of the Week, not Defensive Rookie of the Week. I thought he played extremely well this season, and he was a great pickup by Fangio. And yeah, we got him in the 3rd round. So for a 3rd round pick in his rookie season, he performed pretty well. I gave him an overall grade of a B. Still room to improve, but dang, he put on quite a performance in his rookie year. Next, we selected with the 156th pick, we selected Justin Holland, linebacker out of Oregon. He had 21 tackles, 12 solo, 9 assisted. He had 1 sack, and he had 2 passes defended. Now, Holland did play a pretty big piece to our defense, considering we did have some injuries this season, and with those injuries, he was able to fill in nicely. I gave him a C plus because there's definitely some room for improvement for his future career, but he played really well. He surprised me. I wasn't expecting a lot from him this year, and yeah, he impressed me, but I can't give him a super high grade because I still think there's more he could have done this season, but I was impressed, so C plus. And our final pick, we selected JaJuan Winfree with the 187th overall pick out of Colorado. He's a wide receiver. He didn't have any stats this year because he did not play in the regular season. He went on IR, so I gave him an overall grade of a D. Now, I was thinking about giving him an overall grade of an F, but I was thinking back to the preseason and how he played in the preseason. Yes, it was against lesser opponents, but he played pretty well. You might remember this catch in the Hall of Fame game, the one that was tipped, and then he went and made the catch. That was pretty impressive. I don't think he's a bad receiver. I just don't think he's going to be like a number 2 receiver. Like, we have Cortland Sutton, and I don't think he's going to be a number 2 receiver. I think Deshaun Hamilton and Tim Patrick both are better than him. Obviously, they actually played this year, so I have to see what JaJuan Winfree will look like against actual competition. But I gave him a D because of his preseason performance, and I hope he plays next year for us, because I do want to see what he can do. I don't know how much playing time he'll get next year, considering me as a Broncos fan. If you haven't seen my latest mock draft, I want us to draft Henry Ruggs out of Alabama. So there's that. But I think that JaJuan Winfree, I feel like he can develop into a pretty decent, maybe number 3 option number 3, number 4 option on the team. Only time will tell. But out of this whole draft class, I am going to have to give it a solid B+. B+ with this class. The first 4 picks were huge impactors this season. Noah Fant, great playmaker, and it is going to be a great weapon for our offense. Dalton Reisner, he played out of his mind. He's going to be a great guard or wherever we need him to play on the offensive line for the future. Drew Lock, he's our franchise quarterback. And Draymond Jones, he played out of his mind this season. And Justin Holland and JaJuan Winfree have room for improvement. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Think of the Broncos 2019 rookie class. I love the Broncos. Sometimes I might be a little bit biased, so maybe these grades were a little bit biased. So let me know. Also, guys, let me know what you think of the Broncos rookie class. And if you guys want me to rate another rookie class, let me know in the comment section below. I will be making many more sports videos this offseason, lots more mock drafts as it is mock drafting season. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.